Welcome to GenX Journeys, the podcast that's all about rediscovering, reinventing, and thriving. I'm your host, Paul Stressner, and if you're part of Generation X, this show's for you. We dive into real stories of resilience, reinvention, and personal growth, all while celebrating the past and charging full speed into the future. Whether it's nostalgia-fueled throwbacks, inspiring conversations, or motivation to help you level up, GenX Journeys is here to remind you your best days are not behind you. They're happening right now, and you're just getting started. So let's get into it. Hey everybody, it's a solo episode this week, and today we're diving into a classic coming-of-age 80s movie, St. Elmo's Fire. But we're not just breaking down the movie, we're going to be talking about the real-life lessons we can take away from it. And because even though this film came out in 1985, the struggles, triumphs, and growing pains it explores are still just as relevant today. This 1985 Brat Pack classic follows a group of friends navigating the highs and lows of early adulthood, making mistakes, chasing dreams, and figuring out who they really are. And let's be honest, we've had our St. Elmo's Fire moments, those times when we thought we had it all figured out, only to realize we were stumbling through the dark, looking for answers. But first, before I get into that, I'll do a quick recap of the movie first. We do have a full Return of the 80s episode of this movie, which will be brought over to Throwback Thursday sometime. And that'll be, I'm covering March Madness right now, so that'll take up the whole month of March, so eventually, sometime after that, I'll be reposting that episode there, and it's a really good one, so I recommend you check that out. But for those who haven't seen it, or maybe haven't watched it in years, St. Elmo's Fire follows a tight-knit group of recent Georgetown University graduates as they attempt to transition from college life into the real world. And for the characters, we have Alec, who's played by Judd Nelson, an ambitious political climber. Leslie, played by Ali Sheedy, his independent-minded girlfriend. Kevin, played by Andrew McCarthy, a brooding writer. And if you've seen the documentary Brats that he put together, you'll see that this wasn't too much of a stretch for him. And there's Jules, played by Demi Moore, the wild child with a troubled personal life. Wendy, played by Mare Winningham, the kind-hearted social worker. Billy, played by Rob Lowe, he's a former college heartthrob and struggling with responsibility. And finally, there's Kirby, played by Emilio Estevez, an aspiring lawyer fixated on an older woman from his past. Well, fixated more like a stalker, but we'll get into that afterwards. But yeah, it's an incredible cast. And the movie's packed with drama, romance, heartbreak, and self-discovery. And it's all set against the backdrop of their favorite hangout, St. Elmo's Bar. And while some of their decisions are questionable, to say the least, the movie does a great job of showing just how complicated life can feel when you're caught between youthful idealism and adult reality. And of course, you can't talk about St. Elmo's Fire without mentioning its iconic soundtrack, like a lot of movies in the 80s. The theme song, St. Elmo's Fire, Man in Motion, by John Parr, became an anthem for mid-80s. It's full of energy and inspiration, and I love it. But for me, one of the standout songs is For Just a Moment, which, fun fact, it was actually the theme song for my junior prom. So shout out to my prom date, Karen. Hope you're doing well. And it's amazing how music can just instantly transport us back to any time and place. And this movie soundtrack does that in the best way possible. So, and it is available on Spotify, so if you use Spotify, you can check it out. There are a lot of deep tracks that are all awesome, so yeah, it's really good. And, well, now that I set the stage, let's dive into some of the key life lessons that we can take from this film. Because even though we're no longer in our 20s, these are, a lot of us even in our 30s or 40s, these lessons are still relevant. Okay, so lesson 1. Friendships evolve, and that's okay. One of the biggest themes in St. Elmo's Fire is how friendships change as we grow. In college, friendships can be unbreakable, but real life has a way of testing those bonds. Some friendships deepen, some fade, and some transform into something entirely different, and that's okay. We see this happen in the movie in so many ways. Alec and Kevin, once the closest of friends, find themselves at odds over politics, relationships, and personal values. Jules, the life of the party, starts to drift away as her reckless lifestyle catches up with her, and it leads to a breaking point where she needs her best friends more than ever. Wendy, the kind-hearted one, harbors unspoken feelings for Billy, the bad boy, but their friendship is ultimately unsustainable as he struggles with his own issues. And then there's Kirby, whose crush on Dale, who's played by Andy McDowell, is more of a fantasy than a real friendship or a relationship, showing us sometimes what we think is a deep connection is really just a reflection of our own desires. And something I've come to realize over the years is that some friends are only in your life for a season. There may be a specific reason why someone enters into your life at a particular time, whether it's to support you during a difficult phase or help you learn an important lesson, or even to introduce you to an opportunity that changes your path. And not every friendship is meant to last forever, and that doesn't take away from its importance, though. And the truth is, life pulls us in different directions as we grow and our relationships shift. Some friendships withstand the test of time, while others serve the purpose and fade away, and that's okay. The important thing is to appreciate those relationships for what they were rather than mourning over that they are no longer there. So that was lesson 1. And then lesson 2, love is messy and often confusing. And just like friendships, some relationships are only meant to last for a season. That can be a hard pill to swallow because love at its core makes us want to hold on. But sometimes people come into our lives to teach us something about love and about ourselves and about what we really need. And once that lesson is learned, the relationships may fade, whether we want it to or not. That loss can be heartbreaking. We've all had relationships where we thought, this is it, this is the one. And then when it doesn't work out, it can feel devastating. And then the next thing you know, you're sitting on the floor sorting through albums, arguing who gets the Pretenders' first album. And sometimes you realize that yours and your girlfriend's so-called forever theme song, Never Say Goodbye by Bon Jovi, was total BS. Because guess what? You do say goodbye. So, did any of you have couples theme song, now that I'm thinking of it? And did it actually hold up? There you go. Email at paul@genxjourneys.net. I need to hear these stories. But sometimes, as Garth Brooks so perfectly put it, some of God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. Maybe what we thought we wanted wasn't what was best for us in the long run. Okay, now we're on lesson number 3. Success looks different for everyone. Alec wants to climb the political ladder. Kirby is obsessed with making something of himself to impress an older woman. Wendy wants to please her family, even at the expense of her happiness. And the movie is a reminder that success isn't a one-size-fits-all concept. We live in a world where success is often defined by external markers, money, status, titles. But true success is deeply personal. For some, it might mean climbing the corporate ladder like Alec. But for others, it might mean following the passion, even if it doesn't bring financial wealth, like Kevin choosing to write despite the struggles. And personal development speaker Earl Nightingale once said, "Success isn't the progressive realization of a worthy ideal." That means success isn't just about reaching a specific goal. It's about moving forward, what matters most to you. Maybe success for you means being a great parent, mastering a skill, building a community, or simply living life on your terms. We can also look at Wendy, who's torn between her family's expectations and her own happiness. How many of us have followed a path we thought it was what we should be doing rather than what we truly wanted? And as Tony Robbins puts it, success without fulfillment is ultimate failure. If you reach the top but feel empty inside, was it really a success? And let's talk about Kirby. He's chasing an illusion, believing that proving himself to Dale will somehow make him successful. But success isn't about seeking external validation. Jim Rohn said, "The major value in life is not what you get. The major value in life is what you become." Success is about who you are becoming in the process, not just what you achieve. So the real question is, what does success mean to you? Forget what society, your family, or your younger self even thought it should be. define it for yourself, and pursue that with everything you've got. Now, lesson 4. You don't have to have it all figured out. And let me tell you something. No one, I repeat, no one has it all figured out. And social media has only made it harder. We scroll through Instagram or Facebook and see people posting their highlight reels, vacations, job promotions, picture perfect families. And if you're struggling or feeling stuck, it's easy to think, wow, everyone else has it together except me. But here's the truth. People curate what they want others to see. Some are putting on a facade, just like Jules in the movie, dressing up their lives to look glamorous while barely holding it together behind the scenes. And others may be genuinely successful, but what you don't see is the years of struggle and effort it took to get there. But here's what matters. Your journey. Not theirs, not your neighbors, not your high school friends, yours. The only person you should ever compare yourself is the person who you were yesterday, and that's it. That's the game. That's the mission. Get 1% better each day. You learn, you grow, and you push yourself. And if you're thinking, but I don't know what I'm doing yet, good. That means you're alive. That means you're still in the fight, man. And that means you still have time to make things happen. The ones who succeed, they aren't the ones who had all the answers. They're the ones who kept going even when they didn't. So listen to me. Stop waiting. Stop doubting yourself. Stop thinking you're not ready. You'll never feel 100% ready. That's the secret. You just take one step anyway. You just keep moving one step forward every single day. And because every single person you admire, they were once exactly where you are right now. And the only difference is they took action. They bet on themselves. And you can do that too. I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, or even more. There is still time. It's never too late. The best chapters of your life haven't even been written yet. And they won't write themselves. So it's up to you. So I'll leave you with some closing thoughts, because you are exactly where you need to be at this moment. But here's the thing. You won't stay here. Growth is inevitable. The question is, will you take charge of it, take control of it? Will you step into the next version of yourself? Or will you just wait for life to push you forward? The next step is unwritten, but it's yours to create. So now take that step, take that risk. Embrace the challenge. Now go make something happen. Now I'd love to hear from you. And let's talk about some St. Elmo's Fire. What's your favorite moments? Did you pick up on any lessons that you might have learned from them? Not to stalk like Kirby, I don't know. Let's keep the conversation going, and you can connect with me on social media. It's at GenX Journeys all across the board on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and you can on the website is genxjourneys.net. And I still need to post all of last week's podcasts on there. See, I'm still a work in progress myself. So so go visit genxjourneys.net, and like I said before, you can email me at paul@genxjourneys.net. Nice and easy. And as always, remember, embrace the past, own the present, and build an epic future. Until next time, take care. And remember,
be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes!
Sit, Lizzie, sit. Good dog.